Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the 2021 Matrix Awards. My name's Hallie Jackson. I'm the senior Washington correspondent for NBC News, but today I am taking that correspondent hat off. I get to put my host hat on, and I'm so excited to be the MC for today's festivities. It feels like maybe we're getting at least a little bit closer to the end of having to celebrate these things virtually, but silver lining, I'm glad you're joining us safely, hopefully in a comfy pair of leggings. If you're in a gown, more power to you. Love that too. I definitely don't think they could have imagined a Matrix quite like this one back in 1971. But no matter where we are, the magic of the Matrix Awards is because of you, our incredible women in communication. No matter what, you always find a way to come together, to be there for one another, to rise up to the occasion. Even as we all went remote, right? Our roles as leaders in communication became more important than ever, as many of us became the messengers for words of comfort and support and education, for a workforce, for a country that was scattered. So let's take a moment to celebrate you, all the little wins, any big wins, and for everything that's come in between, for getting it done and making it happen. Congratulations, because we know it has not been easy. For the past 51 years, the Matrix Awards have been presented to you by the New York Women in Communications, or, as we all know it, NYWICI. When one NYWICI woman gets her foot in the door, she holds it open for the next one. We're honored that this year's Matrix Awards gives us the opportunity to celebrate 8 magnificent women who have demonstrated their innate abilities to innovate, to adapt, to lead during these uncertain times. The honorees today kept not only uplifting and supporting women across the communication field, but they played a part in moving the entire industry forward. So show these women some love, some appreciation, because they are making it happen. And while we always want to celebrate the wins, it's also important to acknowledge the toll, right? The far-reaching effects that these past 19 months have had on every woman. You know the statistics, right? Recent studies showing that 80% of all workers who left the workforce in January, for example, were women, putting the labor force participation for women at 57%, the lowest it's been since the late 80s. Women of color have been disproportionately affected, with the unemployment rate for Black women 25% higher than the national average. For Hispanic women, the rate is almost 50% higher. The New York Women in Communications program, Women Heard, was developed earlier this year in partnership with Meredith, Engine, Bloomberg, and WPIX to look at the cause and effect behind these numbers. Together, they launched an in-depth survey sponsored by Edelman and FCB to collect data to produce initiatives for how companies can better serve all women in the workplace. NYWICI has always been an organization to try to push open doors. When it all started back in 1929, it was just for a seat at the table. Now, we're able to count CEOs, business owners, network bureau chiefs, account directors, producers, and so many more among our members. We have some of those seats at the table and pushing to fill even more to harness the power to lead change and shape a better future. Women Heard will be releasing the discoveries of that study later this year, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. But until then, we're so excited to be debuting right here some of those survey results during today's show. We have some incredible women joining us across 3 segments to talk about those findings and how we can use this data to move our industry forward. Speaking of the future, we have another class of outstanding scholarship winners to celebrate today. These women, all of them incredible. They're already standouts in the field, so smart, so committed to pursuing a career in communication. They're probably going to be all of our bosses someday. I get to introduce now Jacqueline Simmons, Senior Executive Editor for the Americas at Bloomberg News. Bloomberg is our host sponsor for this year's Matrix Award, so I'll turn it over to Jacqueline now to share a few words.
Hi, my name is Jackie Simmons, and I'm the Senior Executive Editor for the Americas at Bloomberg News. I'm thrilled to welcome you all to the New York Women in Communications 51st Matrix Awards. Bloomberg Media is truly honored to host this year's awards, and we believe that issues around equality intersect with every facet of global business. In May, we unveiled a major multi-platform expansion of Bloomberg Equality to elevate issues of race, gender, diversity, and fairness within the governments, companies, and societies we write about every day. This expanded franchise aims to inform global leaders with content that will help shape the decisions they make in order to drive change within their organizations, industries, and communities. Members of New York Women in Communications have driven change in the industry they serve and for 51 years have broken down barriers for women. We share in the New York Women in Communications mission to increase representation and support women at all levels and across industries. We're so proud to have supported this organization over the years, and especially with the Women Heard initiative, which launched earlier this year. For that initiative, Bloomberg Media partnered with New York Women in Communications, Meredith Corporation, FCB, and Engine to conduct a national research study on how COVID has affected women in the workforce, including their childcare, pay, gender, and racial inequity. We included high-level analysis around pay equity and gender inequality from Bloomberg proprietary data sources, including our Wealth Survey, Bloomberg Brand Health System, and the Gender Equality Index. You'll hear more about this data later in the program. More importantly, we're here to celebrate this year's diverse group of honorees, women who are proven leaders in their fields, organizations, and who empower other women. They've demonstrated exemplary leadership, especially during a global pandemic. And they've pushed the communications industry forward and made significant contributions. So on behalf of Bloomberg, it's my pleasure to congratulate this year's honorees and scholarship recipients, and it's an honor to celebrate you all. Thank you.
Jackie, thank you so much to you and to Bloomberg for being a big part in helping to bring today's ceremony to life. We have tons in store for you, and since we can't see you in person, we'd love to know how you're joining us today. Get out the phone, snap a quick selfie, send out a tweet, send out an Instagram, get on TikTok, whatever you do. Holler about your favorite moments from the show. Tag us at NYWICI and use the hashtag Matrix2021, hashtag Matrix51. If I had my phone here, I'd be selfieing myself and doing it, maybe later in the show. So let's kick things off now, and we're lucky to do it with an incredible woman, a standout journalist, somebody I am so lucky to know well, that I get to see every morning. I wake up with her. You might too. Hoda Kotb, truly earning this honor. I cannot wait for you to hear from her.
Hey guys, welcome to Today. It's a Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hoda Kotb to me is one of the most generous, kindest, funniest, and smartest people that I've ever worked with.
She's the embodiment of goodness, enthusiasm, generosity of spirit, love.
And we're glad they were around. Because we all think you're special.
Hoda is a mom. Hoda is a girlfriend. Hoda is a daughter and an auntie and a sister. Hoda is a friend, a great friend.
Hoda obviously does a lot. You know, she anchors the Today Show. She has the Fourth Hour.
Hoda does a podcast. Hoda does Sirius XM.
I don't know which book she's on. I can't even begin to figure that one out.
She sews her own clothes. No, I made up the last part.
You know, we're getting tired of you. Pull back a little. Leave something for the rest of us.
Hoda's story is so inspirational because, I mean, she just was up against all odds to even get her first job in television.
Here's somebody who literally drove around with a box full of audition tapes.
And everybody said no.
And finally, somebody saying, hey, you know, I like you. I'm going to give you a chance.
It's 11 minutes before midnight. I'm Hoda Kotb.
She has worked so hard to get where she is, but she never forgets where she's from.
There's a new source of energy in Louisiana. And she's lighting up the night in New Orleans.
I think when most people get to network news, they kind of go and they try to get assigned to the big political interviews. They try to cover the hard news beat. And I think what was unique about Hoda, she said, no, I'm going to go and let my personality come out.
And an audience, I believe, can sense it. They knew Hoda and I adored each other.
Hoda does Serious News interview along with the best of it.
She's traveled all around the world, and she also has an amazing way of connecting with people.
And that's a gift. And that's what great communicators in this business have, being able to draw other people out. And she has that in spades.
She'll get stuff out of people because it's this kind of, hey, y'all, you know, hey. Their guard is down, and next thing you know, they're giving Hoda the nuclear codes.
Hoda leans in. She listens beautifully, and she shows great respect to people.
Hoda's a woman who's, after 50 has adopted 2 girls.
She had been through breast cancer, she had gone through a divorce, and I think she thought to herself, motherhood is not something that's gonna happen for me. And at some point, she just woke up and she said, well, why not me?
Oh my gosh. Hallie and Hope love their mama. Whenever she FaceTimes me, they're having fun, there's food on the floor, there's screaming, there's yelling, there's dancing. It's just fun.
She personifies that. It was never too late for your dreams to come true.
She is that person that you can look to who's already forged the path and is still smiling. And it makes you feel like you can do it too.
I think Hoda is a testament to allowing things to happen in God's time. Life is a journey, it's long, take your time, things happen when they're meant to happen.
I've said this before and I really mean it. To me, Hoda saved our show, full stop. She stepped up when we really, really needed her.
It's no secret, the pairing was born out of a tough time. And yet, out of bad things, good things happen. And we now have the greatest pairing since peanut butter and jelly.
I'm so proud to work for NBC News, where we have 2 of the most badass women leading the way.
They create this magical 2 hours, and then she goes on to have yet another, because quite frankly, she's greedy. She's greedy, that woman. I'm saying it here. 1 hour, nah. 2 hours, nah. 3, really? I can't get a gig over there because Hoda's got all of them.
She's somebody who's ever evolving and never satisfied to stop learning. And to me, that is a role model for all women in communications, myself included.
Hoda. When I say her name right away, I think of one of the kindest, most loving, most joy-filled human beings I've ever met. I'm so blessed to call her my friend. I admire her as a woman. She's a survivor. I admire her as a daughter. She loves her mama. She loves her family. And she loves her Today Show NBC family. I wish everybody had a friend like Hoda. NBC is super lucky that she brings her talent to this network every single day. She can cover any kind of story, and she has. And you know that when you see her, you can trust her. She's steady, she's solid, and she's going to give you the truth. And so I congratulate my friend on winning a Matrix Award. She is a shining light for so many people in this industry, but she's also a shining light for everybody on the outside of these television cameras. She brings hope, she brings light, she brings love. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Matrix honoree Hoda Kotb.
Wow, Maria Shriver, thank you so much, man. And I want to thank everybody from my NBC family who chimed in. That means a lot. You know what? I just interviewed Maria with her longtime friend, Oprah Winfrey. They've been friends for 42 years. And one thing that Oprah said was a word that described Maria and their friendship was that she felt cherished. She felt cherished, and that really resonated with me. I feel cherished by Maria. I feel cherished among my NBC colleagues, and I feel cherished by you guys tonight. It means a lot. I mean, this is such a far cry from where it all began. I mean, we can all think back. I still remember, being in 7th grade, sitting in the front of the bus, stop sign glasses, frizzy hair, weird name, hearing people make fun of me, and me just willing the bus to get to Stephen Foster. That was my school, quickly. I just wanted it over. And I remember feeling a similar way when I was looking for a job when I graduated from college. I went from station to station to station in my mom's car, wearing my new green suit and with my resume tape. And everywhere I went, I kept getting rejected. I got rejected in Richmond and in Roanoke and in Birmingham, Alabama, and in Dothan, Alabama, and the list went on and on and on. And I could feel the same feelings that I had when I was in 7th grade, like maybe I'm not cut out for this, maybe I'm not good enough. And then I rolled up to a small station in Mississippi, and a little short guy named Stan Sandroni met me at the door, and I said, "Hi, my name is Hoda. I'd like to interview for this job." And he goes, "What's your name? Hilda? Hilda, come on in. Let's go in and look at your resume tape." And I still remember thinking to myself, oh my God, he doesn't know his name, but I'll be rejected just like I was the 14 times before. He put the tape in, he watched it, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, "Hilda?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I like what I see." And it just reminded me in that moment that you just need one person to think you're good enough. You don't need everybody. You need one person. And that one person, Stan Sandroni, I invited him here to Studio 1A in Rockefeller Center to say thank you. And he looked around. He said, "I knew you were going to do it. Oh, there's Al Roker. He is so skinny." And he just went around the place. And I remembered thinking, wow, this is like a full circle moment. All of my professional dreams came true. I had a lifetime at Dateline. I had a lifetime with Kathy Lee and now Jenna. And now I have a new lifetime with Savannah on the early hours. Every professional dream came true for me. And lucky for me, at age 50, all my personal dreams came true too. And this is my kind of last life lesson. If you want something bad enough, say it out loud. A friend once said, even if you whisper it in the bathroom mirror to yourself. One thing I always wanted was kids, and I was afraid to speak it. And one day I just looked at Joel, the guy I'd been dating for a year, and blurted something out that I thought I wasn't going to be able to say. And I basically said, "I want you to think about this for a minute. I want you to take some time because I'm about to ask you something very important. Take a week and think about it." And he looked scared. And I looked at him and I said, "I would like to explore adoption with you." And he paused for a nanosecond and said, "I don't need a week. I don't need a minute. The answer is yes." So say your dreams out loud. If you speak them, sometimes they do come true. And I feel blessed. I feel lucky. I feel like my professional life is beyond my wildest expectations, and so is my personal life. My personal life, Hallie and Hope, have exceeded everything I've ever dreamt of. So I want to say thank you for this award. It means a lot to me, and I feel really blessed. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Garcia and I am from Rochester, New York. I am currently a senior studying communication at Cornell University, and I am this year's winner of the Anne Liguori Scholarship. Anne Liguori herself called me after I won the scholarship, and that was really like a wow moment for me. I think it's really great that there's a whole organization dedicated to uplifting and supporting women in communication in New York. And it's a really good asset and tool for women starting out in their careers, or maybe women looking to switch career paths. Don't hesitate, come join us. It's a really great way to start your career in media.
My name's Katie Rogers, and I'm a White House correspondent with the New York Times. I'm here to introduce Maggie Haberman as one of this year's honorees for the Matrix Award because, simply put, she was the driving force behind our White House team during the Trump era. She broke big stories, yes, but she also challenged all of us on the team, and I would say industry-wide, to think really big about a norm-breaking and unprecedented figure in American life and politics. She also crucially covered the Trump administration from a point of fairness, which is really important because it seemed like everybody in the country, including the president, seemed really interested in accusing the media of partisanship. I don't know if Maggie remembers the first time I met her, but it was actually before the 2016 election. She had stopped to talk to a group of women journalists at the Times about her job and about how it had affected her work as a reporter, but also as a mom. And I remember leaving that meeting thinking, wow, she's really not who you think she is. Which, by that I mean, if you see her in public, she's this dynamo, she is tough, she's at the forefront of our industry in coverage of the most talked about person in American life. But if you meet her, you understand that she is incredibly sensitive, incredibly generous, and incredibly kind. But anyone who knows Maggie even a little bit knows that her children are her greatest honor. Her 3 kids are the light of her life, and I know that she is so proud of them, just like they're proud of her tonight. Maggie, I've learned so much from you as a reporter, but you've also been kind and generous to me as a friend. I am honored to help present this award to you today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present to you one of this year's Matrix Award honorees, Maggie Haberman.
Thank you so much for this honor. When I was told that I was going to be given a Matrix Award, I didn't expect to be filming my remarks in my bedroom with sunlight behind me and my I Love New York Forever poster behind me, but we haven't gotten to choose a whole lot about how things go this year. But I want to thank you for thinking that I am worthy of an honor that so many women who I admire have gotten in the past. I am not unique in journalism. I happen to be in the right place at the right time, and so much of how we end up where we are is luck. But it's not only luck, and I have worked very hard, and I have tried to work very hard over the last 5 years at a time that was uniquely challenging for the country, uniquely challenging for the field of journalism, and uniquely challenging for women. There was both great change in terms of how women are treated, and still further airing of misogyny. And what I've tried to do is conduct myself in my job in a way that can be a model for other women, in a way that can be a model for my daughter. I know that I am here because a lot of other women paved my way, and I never forget that. I'm hoping that things that I have done have made it easier for other young women who are coming up in journalism. And I hope that next year we can all be together. Thank you so much.
As we keep this incredible lineup going, we've got the future leadership of New York Women in Communication to shine a light on the organization that has brought the Matrix Awards to you today. Incoming President Dustee Jenkins, take it away.
Hello, I'm Dustee Jenkins, Head of Global Communications and Public Relations at Spotify. And I'm also the incoming president of the New York Women in Communications. To say I'm honored would be a tremendous understatement. New York Women in Communications was founded in 1929 by a group of motivated women to connect and support one another in an incredibly difficult economic period. And today, more than 70 years later, there has never been a more important time to be a part of the communications industry than right now. NYWICI has been instrumental in supporting, growing, nurturing the profession for decades. We're all about shining a light on the impact communication has on the world around us. And today we're gathering for a very special occasion. We're gathering to honor the 51st class of Matrix Award winners. It's all about continuing the tradition of recognizing the achievements of pioneering women such as Gloria Steinem, Bess Meyerson, and many, many others. Matrix is just one of the ways in which NYWICI highlights communicators. And that industry spans so many disciplines: journalism, public relations, publishing and literature, education, academia, science and medicine, advertising, marketing, music, podcasts, entertainment, manufacturing. Pretty much every industry you can imagine communication touches. I am so thrilled to be leading this prestigious and dedicated group of women, closing in on 100 years of supporting women in communications. And now we are turning yet another corner. We're moving ahead in a post-pandemic world. I am so excited to take the baton and work with the board and the volunteers and the rest of the NYWICI team to bring forth programs that will help women in communications continue to thrive. It's been a privilege to work with outgoing President Ashley Miles. She's the founder and CEO of Franklin West. For those of you who know Ashley, you're going to agree that she is one of the most passionate, generous, creative women in our entire space. She's also a good friend to boot. And over the past 2 years, she's been an inspirational, trailblazing leader of NYWICI. She's led by example in how she celebrates women and empowers each and every woman around her. She's leaving some very big shoes to fill. Now with that, over to you, Ashley.
Thank you so much, Dustee. For more than 90 years, New York Women in Communications has connected and recognized professional women working in communications. The women we're honoring this year were chosen due to their ability to successfully lead in the face of adversity and making a significant impact on business and society. All of the 2021 Matrix honorees are beacons for those who will follow, and NYWICI is proud to welcome them to the Matrix Hall of Fame. As you've heard this year with our amazing board of directors, corporate partners, male executive allies across the industry, and of course, Bloomberg, Meredith, FCB, and Engine, we formally launched NYWICI's Women Heard campaign, an ongoing commitment to elevate and magnify women's voices and to directly address the dramatic departure of women from the workforce due to COVID-19. As president of NYWICI during a pandemic and as a mother to 2 young girls, I wanted to make sure that when the world stopped, we didn't. Instead, we rolled up our sleeves and searched for a way to make an impact. I was inspired by the opportunity Women Heard offered to use research to drive call to action initiatives, bringing to light the specific issues faced by women in the workforce. As we witnessed these unprecedented exits, we wanted to investigate the pain points, the specific why behind this trend, so that we could work together to find solutions for the business community to help support them. NYWICI's mission is to empower women in the communications field at every career stage to reach their full potential and navigate the ever-changing landscape of communications. NYWICI actively encourages leadership and professional development. We offer scholarships, as well as offering networking and mentoring opportunities that connect women who connect the world. Serving as president of this remarkable organization during the pandemic has been a personal highlight in my life. The amazing women on the board of directors and our broader NYWICI community have formed a real sisterhood that gives back to the business community and each other. They volunteer their valuable time and energies to support one another. And even more importantly, the next generation of professional women in communications. Thank you all for joining us today. It's an absolute honor to be the president of such an incredible group of women. My heartfelt congratulations to our 2021 Matrix honorees and to our scholarship winners. What an extraordinary class, and we are so lucky to have you. Enjoy the rest of the show.
And a big congratulations to Ashley. You've been an amazing president during these unprecedented times, leading with strength and compassion and a hope for the future. That has really flowed through the whole organization. On behalf of all of the New York women in communication, thank you. I think we all have somebody in our lives that we wouldn't have gotten to where we are today if they hadn't been there. Having a mentor, somebody to ask those questions to, is just part of what makes NYWICI so special. 2,500 women who have all gone through or who are going through what you are.
The power of mentorship is amazing and absolutely invaluable. I think that every young person starting out in the business needs someone to guide them through all of the sort of pathways of corporate life that are unwritten.
I think mentors are vital to honing your craft and figuring out really what you want to do in life. I've had a few mentors over my short career, and it's really helped me branch out and decide and figure out what works for me and what doesn't.
I try to be a mentor to younger people when a lot of times people from a university will reach out through LinkedIn or someone who's just starting out their career, and I've always tried to take those phone calls. They value it so much, just having that starter conversation. I think back to when I was in college, I had those conversations with people who were very high up, and I was shocked they took the time for me.
I feel like it's really important to connect with women that are going on the same journey as you, because for certain careers you can't just Google advice on how to proceed. So it's really important to have mentors.
You need someone who's unafraid to tell you the truth. You need someone who's willing to give of themselves, their advice, their time, their counsel. I am so grateful to the mentors I've had along the way, and I cannot stress how important it is, I think, for women in our industry who have made it, who have accomplished something, to turn around and give back to others.
I actually find that my mentorship goes both ways and is just critically important to making me a more attuned manager.
My definition of mentorship is sometimes it can be quite prescribed, but other times it can be much more informal, and you hope that at the end of the day, when you look back in your career, there are going to be people who will remember you as someone who mentored them in ways that really helped impact and shape their own success.
It's absolutely critical as you grow your career to surround yourself with the best people who share in your values and principles and who want to see you succeed and you want to see them succeed, and we all rise together.
I think the goal here is to create more. We want to create a good environment for the new generations to come in.
Become a part of this incredible sisterhood. Head over to nywici.org today and sign up.
One word to describe Judith Harrison: a collaborator. That is the best of collaborator with the best of leadership.
Force of nature.
She is fiercely kind.
Bold in her thinking and in her presence.
Committed and incredibly smart.
The communication industry often throws around words like pioneer and trailblazer. Judith Harrison is the real deal.
The work she does means so much to all of my colleagues, and she does it like no one else I've ever seen.
Judith's incredibly deft hand at building bridges among people has been invaluable, truly.
She's impassioned about DEI as a business and a moral imperative.
She is an absolute role model to all of us, and she does the right thing even when no one is watching.
Do you know how when you're at a cocktail party and you're chit-chatting and sipping and contemplating the past hors d'oeuvres, should you have one, should you not, and someone walks into the room and the mood kind of shifts. Suddenly there's a different kind of energy, a sense of calm, a radiance that washes over everyone in the room. Have you experienced that? I call that the Judith effect. And it's not just a cocktail party thing. I've been fortunate enough to work with Judith for 15 years at Weber Shandwick, where the Judith effect is an everyday thing. The Judith effect has made a difference for thousands of colleagues, thousands in our industry, and many more who have benefited from Judith's vision and steadfast commitment to making a difference without ever attending a cocktail party with her. Yep, Judith has a presence, poise, elegance, grace, always. But Judith's presence is about yours. When Judith is in the room, she makes you feel seen and heard. She makes you feel important and valued. She makes you feel worthy. When you look across Judith's remarkable career, you realize that making others shine is her superpower. Her professional life is one of service to individuals, to communities in need, to women, and to marginalized groups. Judith has invested a lifetime of effort to expand opportunities in the communications industry to talented young students of color. And even more important, she's a vocal champion for the value and vital need for more diverse voices in our industry. She raised the alarm early about the lack of diversity in public relations and beyond, and the existential threat the lack of inclusion presented to agencies, organizations, and brands. Judith is our EVP of Global Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and has helped to reimagine how our agency and our industry work to make much needed change happen. Over the past 2 years, through the collision of crises we experienced personally and collectively, the global pandemic, social injustice, political division, and hate-fueled violence, when we were battered and bruised and exhausted, Judith was there. Having courageous conversations with groups, having one-on-ones with anyone and everyone who needed them, listening, caring, comforting, and listening more. But Judith's imprint on our organization will last longer than the memory of these difficult few years, and her impact on the thousands of individuals she has cared for and mentored throughout her career grows exponentially every day. When Judith was named Diversity Champion by PR Week, one colleague said it well. The measure of a person is not what they do for themselves, but how they inspire others to be better and go farther than them. There is no doubt that our agency, our industry, and our world have all progressed farther because of her tremendous efforts. Congratulations, Judith. As a friend, a colleague, and on behalf of women in communication in New York and around the world, thank you for everything you do. To all of you, may you experience the Judith effect. I am thrilled to present Judith Harrison.
Thanks so much, Gail. Your brilliance, creativity, and humanity inspire me every day and are guiding lights for all of us at Weber Shandwick. I wouldn't be here without the support of my late parents, who instilled the confidence and tenacity that has sustained me throughout my life, and my husband, Brian, whose belief in the importance of my work has been unshakable. Congratulations to my fellow Matrix Award honorees, and boundless thanks to New York Women in Communications outgoing President Ashley Miles, incoming President Dustee Jenkins, and the entire organization for this incredible honor. I am so privileged and grateful to be recognized with this award and to follow in the footsteps of the extraordinary women who are part of Matrix history. New York Women in Communications has always encouraged women to embrace their ambition, abilities, and authenticity. I encourage you to embrace all that and your idealism too. Martin Luther King said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter." In this time, when truth and sometimes basic human decency are under attack, it has never been more important for us to stand up and be counted, and to lead with purpose, empathy, and inclusivity. Our industry has been talking about diversity for years. What we need to understand is that diversity, equity, and inclusion will be realized only when they are embedded in every touch point of our business. Equal opportunity, equal pay, and equal representation will change the way we live and the futures we envision. I'm blessed to have had the opportunity to lead New York Women in Communications for 2 years. Part of that blessing was the ability to raise the voices of women of color who had been on the sidelines of this industry for far too long. When diversity was just beginning to be discussed in the PR business, it was the topic of a keynote speech given at a high-profile conference. I was an executive recruiter at the time, and the speech was to be given by my firm's founder's favorite client, a woman who led a well-regarded agency. I was more than a little surprised when the founder came to me with the client's request that I help with the speech by sharing my experience as a Black woman in PR. Naturally, I asked what she'd been doing in D&I. Was there diversity at her firm? How was she going about achieving it? The answer spoke volumes. No, there was no diversity at the firm. No, there weren't any proactive efforts to achieve it. Why? Because, in her words, cream rises to the top. I had no idea it was so easy. Before I could frame my response in the most innocuous way possible, the truth just popped out of my mouth. I said, tell her that if she wants to know what it's like for people of color in this business, she can hire some and take them out to lunch. Needless to say, that was not a pleasant conversation. I knew I could lose my job, which I was in no financial position to do. But at that moment, standing in my truth and speaking truth to power were all that mattered. It was scary, but profoundly liberating. More importantly, it planted the seeds for the work I have been doing for the last 15 years. As an industry, we've made incremental progress in DEI. That is so far from enough. There's no substitute for the hard work of change. Posting a square on Instagram won't cut it. Hiring, retaining, developing, and truly valuing people from all backgrounds in our business is imperative. We don't have a minute to waste. Together, we must act on the fierce urgency of now to create the world we want and deserve.
So now it's time for the first of our 3 segments exploring the results of the Women Heard survey. Kicking it off, we have Tamsen Fadal from WPIX.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and thank you so much for joining us for the 2021 Matrix Awards. This year, the New York Women in Communication platform, #WomenHeard, spearheaded a national research study on how COVID-19 has affected so many women in the workplace, partnering with the Meredith Corporation, Foot Cone Belding, Engine, and Bloomberg Media to uncover the extent of mental, financial impacts on family and women in communication during the pandemic, from a lack of childcare to the changing job market, and also, of course, mental health. The Women Heard initiative was launched in the hope that providing tangible and vital data to industry leaders would inspire honest dialogue and real change. I'm really honored to be kicking us off with our first Women Heard segment, and it's a subject that is especially dear to me and all the women of NYWICI. I'm going to be discussing the drastic effect the pandemic really has had on the job market, and in particular, what it's meant for our emerging graduates. And we're lucky to have a Matrix Scholarship winner alum working right with us here at WPIX, Katie Corrado. Katie is usually one of our morning reporters. So, Katie, it's good to see you. Let's go ahead and talk, though, first of all, of how you ended up being a NYWICI Scholarship winner.
I was a high school senior. I was looking for college scholarships, and I literally Googled women communications New York City scholarships, and Google spit out New York Women in Communications. It's not even an understatement to say that it changed my life. It gave me this network that I never had before.
Also joining Katie and I are two of this year's NYWICI scholarship winners and current students, Amanda Gordon and Yamila Martinez. Hello, ladies. Thanks so much for being with us. So we'll start with you. How about you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
So glad to be here with you. I'm Yamila Martinez, and I am from New York City. I study here in New York. I just graduated from Manhattan Community College, and right now I'm starting my studies at Hunter College, and I'm studying journalism and education.
I am from upstate New York, right outside of Albany, but I'm currently a senior at NYU studying film and television production.
And what has this COVID college experience really been like for all of you? It is hard for any of us to imagine certainly what you've been going through this past 18 months.
COVID hit kind of in the middle of my sophomore year, so it was nice to have like a year and a semester of normal times, but it was definitely pretty difficult for like the past like year and a half doing school online, especially in a major that's super hands-on like film production. But luckily we're back on campus now, and I'm honestly just really happy to at least have the last year in person.
It was a little bit tricky from in-person classes to online classes. I had to adapt myself to everything. Everything was really new for me. But I think that I was able to get a lot of support from the college that I was studying, and that helped me a lot to navigate.
So here's an interesting point. The Women Heard report found that women's jobs are 1.8 times more vulnerable to this crisis than men's, accounting for 54% of total jobs lost. And understandably, as a result, women graduating with degrees, especially in the communication field, are facing more stress and greater challenges entering this job market than their male counterparts. Is it something you've noticed recently?
Honestly, what changed for me was that I didn't really want to graduate early anymore, because I was kind of like, the job market is pretty iffy out there, so there's not really a need to rush into graduating anymore. So I'm pretty glad that I'm just taking the full 4 years.
I'm also wondering, what does the job search look like now?
There's this persistence that you have to have that I have not seen before, where you have to be okay with applying for 40, 50 jobs, maybe going on half a dozen interviews and hoping that something pans out. It's so challenging.
I found networking to actually get a tiny bit easier, because now it's so kind of common to do it online and you don't really need to meet someone in person, which like you can kind of meet anyone and at different times. People are kind of more flexible if they're at home. So I found it's like pretty helpful to network in actually the virtual setting.
All right, we are out of time, but what a great conversation. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me. Amanda, Yamila, congratulations on your scholarship, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Up next, we welcome 19-year-old Mexican pianist Daniela Leibman, an impressive young woman who's already established herself as an artist of eloquence, poise, and nuance. Since her debut at age 8, Daniela has performed with more than 25 orchestras on 4 continents. Today, she performs a piece by Chopin, Ballad No. 3 in A-flat major. Enjoy.
Thank you so much for listening. Congratulations to all the honorees and enjoy the rest of the show.
That smile. It's brilliant. It's real, with an air of mystery. It's her signature. It's defining. It holds promise. It's winning. It's Amanda.
When we think about people in this industry that are smart, supportive, caring, positive, Amanda's at the very top of the list.
In an industry that is competitive and creative and at times combative, somehow Amanda seems to travel on a higher altitude, yet unafraid of the hard work or the hard conversations.
She is a mentor to so many of us and inspires so many of us. But no matter how far she goes up the corporate ladder and what she has going on personally in her life, Amanda has always been there for all of us.
She empowers women, well, actually people around her, inspires them to be their best, and really lifts everybody up, bringing them together, both personally and professionally.
Amanda's poise is matched only by her well-placed feistiness and fight for her team and for her clients.
Amanda is always thoughtful and kind before she talks, before she takes any action, before she advises you on any situation. And that's definitely something I have admired over the years.
I've known you for many years and I've always admired your passion, your positive energy, and so appreciate how whenever you show up, you come with ideas and solutions to make things better.
I'm very fortunate to call you my friend, Amanda. Congratulations and well deserved.
Amanda, I consider myself so lucky to call you my friend, and it has been truly a joy to see you thrive and inspire so many around you.
I'm so excited for you, Amanda. What a great honor and what a perfect honoree.
Receiving the Matrix Award is thrilling for any honoree. While it is one of the ultimate industry acknowledgments of Amanda's extraordinary professional achievements, knowing Amanda, she doesn't think it's her award alone. I think she'd give it to all of her colleagues and clients if she could. But it is very much hers, and she is more than deserving of it. Amanda has earned her success the old-fashioned way, through sheer hard work, perseverance, and a strong will to win. But it is how she has approached winning that is so inspiring. It's her grace and her steady hand. It's her generosity to others. She genuinely helps everyone around her to excel and to enjoy a little of the spotlight. There's room for everyone in Amanda's world. She is a career-long advocate for inclusion and for ethics in data. She is engaged with what matters in our business. Amanda is good for the advertising industry, good for our well-being. She is a rock in the foundation of sensational executives in our business, women and men alike, and a star among stars. I am so proud to present her with the 2021 Matrix Award in recognition of our long friendship, but also because women known for their distinctive haircuts with bangs need to stick together. It is my pleasure and my privilege to now introduce you to Amanda Richman.
Thank you, Wenda, for that wonderful introduction. You have been such a mentor and an inspiration to me and so many leaders in our industry. The C-suite is more female thanks to you. Thanks to my friends that were part of the intro. I so appreciate your support over the years in my career and in friendship. And thank you, WWICI, for this incredible honor. This is a class I am humbled to be a part of. It's an amazing group of inspiring women that are influencers every day. Maggie in the morning in New York Times bringing truth to power, and Hoda for the humanity. Dawn, Marisa, Judith driving our industry forward every day. Yamish on PBS, which I watch every night with my husband Tom for a full view of the world. And Aquafina, you are an escape through your artistry. I remember my first Matrix Awards being in awe at the women on stage and their storied careers. My heart was full of admiration and pride for simply being included in the room. Well, over a decade later, it is a very different room and a very different time. But my pride in our industry and in the power of advertising and media to drive change is stronger than ever. I am so incredibly fortunate to have found something that I love to do every day, to be part of the digital marketing transformation and to participate in this tremendous change that we're seeing across how we connect and create and how we drive commerce. Leading digital integration has been the thread through 25 years of my career, and that used to be enough to drive transformation through technology. But now we know that digital transformation is not the end game. Technology needs to meet humanity. Progress needs a purpose, and our investment of time and money needs to be more intentional and more responsible. Marketers are realizing that they can make a bigger impact when they become less digital and more human, when they express their purpose and align their investments with their values. It's in this time and context that agencies are more important than ever. We are entrusted with understanding people more deeply, connecting with their values creatively, and through our investment of ad dollars, media agencies are becoming an accelerant for meaningful change. At Mindshare, our point of view is that media is a multiplier. Media can do good for society and for the bottom line, whether through the amplification of underrepresented voices and creators, the support of responsible journalism, or addressing climate change. Our media choices can drive change. And when we do this, and when we do it right, we help our clients find good growth. Growth that is diversified, sustainable, and delivers performance and purpose. That's the change we're leading across Group AM. As the agency honoree on this year's stage, I am proud to have built a career in the advertising side of the communications business. What has always excited me about agency life is the opportunity to realize possibilities. And I am more optimistic than ever about the positive role agencies can play in looking ahead and in lifting others up. Agencies are a bit like cities. They are diverse, creative, collaborative, resilient, and resourceful. Agencies are still an amazing place to build a career and to contribute to the world. Much like New York City in the pandemic, do not write us off. We will continue to evolve, to invent, and to anticipate what's next. Thank you to my family, my husband Tom for his unwavering support, my wild women of the web friends, and my work family across Mindshare and Group AM. Together, we are making a difference in our own unique way.
Congratulations again. It is so awesome to be hearing from so many great women who are leading the communications industry with grace, humility, and strength. And I am in total awe of our 2021 scholarship winners. These are young women, many of them still in school, who are already making their presence known in the communications field. It really is an honor to be supporting these women. Congratulations, and I hope you are really proud of yourselves. I cannot wait to say, I knew you back when.
Hi, I'm Laura Zelenko, Bloomberg's Senior Executive Editor for Standards, Diversity, Talent, and Training. While I wish we could all be in person, I'm thrilled to still be able to join you virtually this afternoon. For over a year, we've been living in an uncertain world and trying to find a new normal, which hasn't been easy. Taking care of and prioritizing our mental health came to the forefront of public and professional conversation. The Women Heard study delved into the complex, far-reaching effects COVID-19 has had on our mental health, especially as women in communication. In the hopes of continuing to normalize conversations around mental health, we felt it was imperative to lead by example. So joining me today is Brandy Boatner and Megan Rokosh to talk about the impact of the past year on employees and how employers have responded. So Brandy and Megan, thanks so much for being here. So let me start with the study. Almost 50% of the women who responded to the Women Heard study cited frequent cases of nervousness, anxiety, or burnout during COVID. And I want to turn this first on you. Brandy and Megan, how has your own mental health been during all of this time?
I think if anybody didn't feel stress and anxiety, please call me and tell me what your process was, because, what a time. For the first time, I think in my entire career, I had to do some real self-management. There was, days of tremendous grief. There were days of very profound conversation. There were days of, watching situations that in our lifetime, I don't think we ever thought that we would watch. We felt this so deeply.
I would say at the beginning of the pandemic, the walls kind of came closing in because there was so much uncertainty. There was a lot of anxiety, being alone, in my, apartment, not having family, my friends. I can't see my friends. We don't know what's happening. So just my own anxiety started to really skyrocket. After coming off the Corona coaster in, March, April, May, then at the end of May, with the death of George Floyd, that added an additional element to me as a Black woman It was tough to even process what I was seeing, what was happening. It just added another layer of anxiety to already a very tense situation.
I wanted to, sort of take us into the workplace. 23% of employees reported that social interaction has a major effect on their mental health. A lot of things that we relied on for self-care became harder or inaccessible in the past year. Connections were harder. I wonder how the lack of social interaction impacted you and what you did to sort of reset.
It's incredible once you understand what social isolation can do to you and to your body. And we've learned so much as a society about how we rely on each other for so many different things, and for love and support and, our sense of community and togetherness and what that means. And I really do hope that that's something that comes out of this and lasts, that we never take that again for granted, that feeling of being in a group of people who care about you and connecting over a shared experience is something that I think all of us who've lived through this will cherish forever.
I wanted to ask each of you, what's one thing that you've seen in yourself change to make you a more empathetic leader to confront issues of mental health in the workplace?
Prior to the pandemic, mental health or talking about mental health had such a stigma within the Black community. It's just not something that we openly spoke about. I can honestly say the Black community, both within my organization and outside, I am starting to see that stigma just kind of break down a little. I was an advocate of mental health prior to the pandemic, but not as vocal. Now that I am seeing the stigma, the barriers, just kind of the attitudes about mental health, specifically in the Black community, not be as strong, I am definitely more vocal. And if I can change perceptions within my community, the Black community, I will continue to do so loudly and proudly.
This has changed the way that I will lead for the rest of my life. And as difficult and stressful as this has been at times, I feel that I have a deeper sense of mission and purpose because I've lived and led through this time, and I feel very, very fortunate to have done so.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts and experiences related to this very, very important topic. And I hope that this is just one of many conversations we have about mental health and the challenges we face in the workforce going forward. So thank you so much.
If you're enjoying this event, and it is our deepest hope that you are, know that this is not the only event that NYWICI hosts. They have things going on all throughout the year. You can find that on their website, nywici.org. Go check it out.
Hi, my name is Nicole Hannah-Jones, and I am a staff writer at the New York Times Magazine, and it is my pleasure to introduce my good friend Yamiche Alcindor for this award. I first met Yamiche when she was a cub reporter at the New York Times. I was immediately struck by her work ethic, her ambition, and the care in which she reported some of the biggest stories in our country. I also was struck by Yamiche's amazing personality. Yamiche is funny, she's a straight shooter, she's humble and yet confident at the same time. She knew what she wanted for her career, and she was willing to do what it took to get where she wanted to be, whether she received institutional support or not. Yamiche is a woman who always calls on her village, who makes decisions only after consulting with other people whom she respects, and always works to do what is best both for her and for her community. You all got to see the Yamiche that I know when we watched again and again how she handled personal attacks and disrespect by Donald Trump with grace, fearlessness, professionalism, and a determination to, no matter what, ask the questions that needed to be asked. Yamiche is an amazing journalist who is a reflection of the highest calling of our profession, and she is an incredible friend. She is loyal, she is supportive, she will stand up for you even if it brings personal attacks her way. In some of my lowest moments, she has always had my back, even when I knew she was struggling with her own fights. She would always take the time to stand up for me. Yamiche, you are so worthy of this award. You are a vanguard of our profession, someone who my daughter and little Black girls all across the country look up to. It is an honor to introduce you today.
Thank you to the New York Women in Communications for making me this year a Matrix Award honoree. I am over the moon and excited to accept this award and to receive this award. I mean, to be in the company of so many great and amazing women is just surreal for me. It's so touching. I feel so blessed. And it means so much because so many times women are told not to be ambitious, not to reach for our goals, not to be thinking about what's next and trying to achieve as much as we possibly can achieve. And this group of women, this New York Women in Communications, your group, it's just chock full of women who are doing their darndest to impact the world. And journalism, of course, is my passion. It's where I feel most at home, serving. It's where I feel like I really can make a difference in the world. And it is an honor to be recognized for doing that work, for doing the work of bringing truth to America, of holding politicians and leaders accountable. It's important to me that I am being recognized for reporting amid a pandemic where so many people are terrified, where so many people are losing their loved ones, where so many people, including Black and brown people, who are dying disproportionately from the virus, that it is in these times that I am being recognized with this award. It means so much to me. And as the new moderator of Washington Week, helming the chair of one of my great mentors, Gwen Ifill, it blows my mind to think of the fact that I am being recognized and that all of these things are happening at the same time. So I want to just thank you so much for recognizing me. It means the world that women who I have looked up to, women who I hope to continue to be in community with, women who I know I call on for advice, who I call on to guide me through my career, and women who have also helped me and inspired me to help other women, that you are looking at me and saying, you're doing a good job, keep doing that. So this award, it is just confirmation for me that I am in my purpose. It is confirmation for me that I can continue to be as ambitious as I want to be. It's confirmation for me that I am in a community of women who are rooting for me. So thank you so much for this award. I think of just all the great women who have received the Matrix Award before me and who are receiving it alongside me, and my heart just bursts with joy. So thank you so much for this award.
I gotta tell you, it's hard to watch this and not feel so proud and so excited to be a woman in our industry, surrounded by so many other amazing women who really are making an effort to lift people up, to bring women up the ladder with them, and to have people to turn to when things get tough. It really is amazing to hear, and I'm just so excited about it. None of this would be possible without our sponsors. They include Lowe's, Spotify, Meredith, AMC Networks, 160/90, Google, Discovery, the Walt Disney Company, Weber Shandwick, IPG Dextra, IPG, the New York Times, NBC Universal, and many more amongst the New York Wiki supporters, and of course, Bloomberg. Now let's meet our next honoree. Here she is.
Marisa is an inspiration to me and so many in our industry for her courageous, creative genius and risk-taking.
Marisa's not only a brilliant marketer, but she's a wonderful human being.
The things that Marisa has done to trailblaze in our industry from a marketing and a communication standpoint, but also the work that she does with women and for women day in and day out is truly remarkable.
She's got this unbelievable energy around life, around her family, her career.
If it wasn't for you, Estee Lauder would not be in the online space that we're in today. You started it all. You organized it, you built it, you encouraged us, you were the star.
The fact that she was probably the most successful CMO the brand has ever had. She believed the brand could be more than just purple, it could be every color of the rainbow.
Marisa has an incredible ability to tap into the zeitgeist of a moment.
Marisa is an innovator, and Marisa is a friend.
Marisa is one of those people that when you meet, you instantly feel embraced and supported.
Marisa, you are charismatic and dedicated. You empower those around you with your innovative leadership.
You can take an idea, mobilize people, and take it from concept
to the finish line.
She's really a joy to be with.
Marisa's passion for everything she does is just so self-evident. We see it in our family. You see it in work, in her career, in all that she's accomplished over the years.
Despite Marisa's formidable professional ambition, her family comes first, and her daughters are her true heart.
I have been so lucky to have Marisa as my role model for my entire life.
She exudes passion and tenacity and that certain je ne sais quoi that we all know.
She's so many things, all that we enjoy and all that we love, and she's building greatness.
Congratulations, honey. Yes, you are the Wonder Woman.
I love you, Mommy.
Congratulations to the most fantabulous mom, to my curly-haired twin, and to the person who turns lemons into the sweetest of lemonade.
I first met Marisa because of a business deal that Lowe's had came to me with. They came to my team with a really cool campaign to give backyard weddings to couples whose wedding had been canceled due to the COVID pandemic. I thought it was a pretty great idea, but I'm pretty picky about the companies I work with. So I first checked out Lowe's, and then I started stalking their CMO on social, which that CMO just happened to be Marisa. What I found was a woman who was a shining example of what a woman can be. A massive success in business, but a massive success as a mother and a wife. I am so honored tonight to present this award to Marisa. She is so deserving, and she is so honored to get it. When she told me she was getting this award, she's like, this is like the Emmys of marketing. She was so excited. So without further ado, please, please, please give a warm welcome virtually to the wonderful Marisa Thalberg.
This is a little surreal for me. I have vivid memories of being at the Matrix Awards 12, 15 years ago. Really just glad to have been invited to sit at the table. And now to be in the company of such inspiring women who have come before me, as well as those with whom I share this company today, it's just a pinch me moment. So first, let me express my tremendous gratitude to New York Women in Communications. The power of what can happen when accomplished women connect with and champion other accomplished women was the epiphany that led to my founding of Executive Moms almost 20 years ago, and it has continued to be a big part of my personal purpose. It's pretty wild to consider how many New York WWICI members and even some honorees have been part of Executive Moms over the years. I also love that to this day, I see women in our industries who remember the way my own mom worked the registration table at Executive Moms events, chatting up everyone. I so wish that she and my equally beloved dad could be here to revel in this moment with me. Having lost my dad far too young, I actually don't know that I could have left New York while my mom was still alive. And yet I reflect on the fact that the incredible chapters that have happened in the 8 years since, from Taco Bell in California to now Lowe's in North Carolina, very much feel propelled by my parents' celestial wind at my back. And I am, of course, proudly the executive mom that I am, because of my incredible husband, David, and our magnificent daughters, Hannah and Avery. Now, with one daughter graduating from college in May, how did that happen? I've thought a lot about what it means to create a great career, especially in marketing and communications, and what it means to become a great leader within it. And here's what I've come up with. At its essence, I believe to be a great marketer is to hold lenses and mirrors up to human truths, to tell stories, and to build bridges of inspiration and connection to our basic needs and our deepest wants, to connect dots, especially those that others may not see. I've come to see that being a leader in it entails some of the most important traits actually of my parents, traits burnished by my own family. And you know, they really aren't traditionally corporate traits, but they are very important human ones. Be warm. Help others feel safe enough and excited enough to be brave. Engage and be engaging. Make lemonade out of lemons. Be true to yourself. And one more, with recognition that careers now can be as complicated as the world in which we live. I found that the best way to navigate the twists, turns, and unexpected new chapters that can arise, is to never believe you're past the point of learning. In fact, the best of us remain perpetual students, even as we may be great teachers. So let me thank you, all of you, for teaching me the power of possibilities. And thank you for this honor that I once barely dreamed might come my way.
Marisa, you brought to Lowe's a record of achievement, innovation, leadership, and success. You've helped to unlock tremendous growth potential for our entire business. And I'm glad each day that I benefit from your creativity, your passion, and your counsel. I remember vividly when we met, we discussed the importance of being authentic and striving each day to be the best and most consistent version of our true selves. You brought that to Lowe's and a whole lot more. And on behalf of 350,000 associates who wake up every single day that make up this great family that we call Lowe's, I want to say congratulations, Marisa. And congratulations to all this year's Matrix Award honorees.
Hi, I'm Julia Edelstein, Editor-in-Chief of Parents. I'm so excited to be part of the 51st Matrix Awards and to be bringing an important part of the Women Heard initiative to life. Any woman in communication is a force to be reckoned with, but a mom in communication, there's not much we can't handle. I have 3 incredible board members from New York Women in Communications here with me to talk a little bit about what the past year has looked like and, as parents, where we go from here. Here with me are Abi Evans, Shireen Russell, and Laura Brusca. Thanks for being here.
Delighted to be here.
Let's go back to March 2020. Suddenly, our homes become our office, our kids' school, and the only place for everything in between. Now, it's 18 months later, and 40% of parents are still concerned by the lack of safety protocols in school. Women Heard reported that 1 in 10 women are not comfortable with their child returning. How have you all dealt with it, and how do you feel about going back? Is it time to return to normal?
Adjusting and pivoting, I think, is part of the new norm. Being able to have fluidity with schedule and flexibility, as well as leadership leading in from a place of empathy, will be critical.
And that's so important because parents, working parents really are, we're in the middle there. We're answering to our bosses and our companies, and then we also have these schools that have their own regulations and rules.
I think it's important that we have a community mindset too, because you may know that you're being safe, but at the same time, you don't know what the other parents are doing. And I think it's incumbent on all of us to think about the fact that we're a part of the whole, that we have to be aware and safe, not just for our own families, but for everybody else.
During the pandemic, our study showed not only were women doing more work from home, they were taking on more work at home. On average, women were responsible for 25% more of the household chores than men. Is that what it looked like at your homes?
I think this conversation itself is so important that everyone needs to be having this conversation. Even just with your partner, you need to have that conversation about making sure it's an equal load on a weekly or almost a monthly basis, because it's constantly changing. 40 or 50 years ago, there was always someone home taking care of the house. And in today's world, that's not realistic.
What do you think we can do in media, I guess, to support women?
I think we need to open the aperture a little bit. If your workforce looks exactly the same as it did 2 years ago, you're never going to actually move things forward in a meaningfully different way. We all know nobody is more effective than a working mother. Maybe it's a population that maybe you wouldn't have hired picture perfect before, but you know they have the skills and the tenacity to get back and move things forward and change things.
At Forbes, at least, what we found is that we had such great productivity. Everyone seemed happy, and I think because everyone seems to be working so well remotely, we are letting employees choose how they want to come back.
I think we also have to solicit feedback and be comfortable with something that may not feel good to hear, but becomes a critical point to support how we show up better for our respective teams and teammates.
Despite all the madness, Women Heard revealed that a majority of women feel more comfortable working from home. Was this true for you?
I've loved working from home. I feel like last year Like I was able to stay so focused. Being home and being able to, be in comfortable clothing, being in, that comfortable space, it was such an amazing experience for me being pregnant.
It's made me totally re-examine what I'm willing to do. So now I think about, is that business trip really necessary?
Yeah.
Can I do it on Zoom? Is there another way to go about it? And I still think FaceTime is important, and I don't think we're going to live in a totally virtual world. But it does make me very choiceful about the things that I'm going to do and going to ask others to do moving forward after this.
I delight in the idea of going back into a hybrid model where there's a place that I can go that's focused on work, but still affords me the holistic opportunity of being home some days and getting a bit of the interface with the boys that we didn't have otherwise.
I can't find one mom who's like, oh yeah, I'm ready. I want to go back 5 days a week and miss dinner every night. It's difficult to find that person. Thank you all so much for being here. Congratulations to all of this year's honorees and scholarship winners. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Hello, my name is Bowen Yang, and it's my pleasure to take part in this celebration with New York women in communication as I identify as a Brooklyn man in miscommunication. This morning, my coffee shop put simple syrup in my latte when I asked for Splenda. I still take Splenda, yes. I'm very excited to talk about my wonderful, talented, trailblazing friend, Awkwafina, also known as Nora Lum, for being a Matrix Award recipient this year. She exemplifies all the courageous, boundary-breaking qualities that the award recognizes and follows in the footsteps of honorees like Whoopi Goldberg, Gloria Steinem, and Toni Morrison, to name a few. But Awkwafina also has the additional honor of playing my cousin on TV, which Barbara Walters, Queen Latifah, and Diane Sawyer would never be brave enough to do. Anytime I talk about Nora, I think about all the times she's risen to the loftiest occasions of her industry. I think about how she's brilliantly developed not only her own career and point of view, but those of others who work alongside her. Working with Nora for the first time was really special because she had just started to really break through, and I was just kind of this admiring observer who would just take in the way that she would operate on set, talk to people, collaborate creatively on things in the moment. And she really has this way of pulling people in without feeling too forced about it. She's this like sagely rock who's still able to like create and engender this beautiful, lovely, fun, perfect space to just make things in. And I mean, I think you see that thread in all of her work, and it's why people adore her. Thinking about the doors she's opened for others, even for people who may have nothing in common with her, is nothing short of awe-inspiring. As someone who knows her professionally and personally, the way she is on and off camera in any context she is just completely magnetic. I mean, my mom apparently saw her in Shang-Chi and cheered. And I've never seen my mom cheer in a movie. I don't think my mother has ever cheered at something that I've ever done, which is fine. And I would be jealous if it were anyone else but Nora. Now that you've heard me fawn ad nauseum for her, it's my pleasure to introduce one of this year's Matrix Award recipients, Awkwafina.
Hi everyone, I'm Awkwafina, and thank you so much for the honor of being an honoree at the 2021 Matrix Awards. This especially means so much to me because it comes from other women and other women in an industry, in my industry. So that always means a lot. When women celebrate other women, it is very special. And especially this year and after a couple of years of hard times, it's really important to be able to come together and celebrate what we do. So this honor goes to everyone in the industry, every female out there that is doing their thing, to the generations before us and the generations that are going to come after us. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye, guys.
Hello, I'm Shari Redstone, and I'm honored to share with you a few words about the one and only role model to all, Dawn Ostroff. Dawn's success is driven by her ability to see trends and opportunities before anyone else. This has never been clearer than in her current role as Chief Content and Advertising Officer, where she's helping Spotify revolutionize the world of high-quality audio content. And while we're focusing today on a celebration of Dawn's professional accomplishments, it is who she is as a person, a friend, and a colleague that I admire the most. She has somehow found a way to not only be a great leader and achiever, but to always put her family first and always be there for those in need. Dawn, you are an incredible friend and an amazing human being. You are a true inspiration to the women and men who have had the opportunity to work alongside you. Dawn, you are so deserving of this meaningful award, and I am truly honored to have the opportunity to present it to you today. Congratulations to you and to all of today's honorees.
Dawn has the best barometer of what's good, what has true quality.
Dawn is a true trailblazer. She never settles for what's possible. She's always thinking about what's next.
What she doesn't know, she studies up and becomes an expert in.
And it's truly so remarkable as a woman, the moves she's made in the industry, but also the impact and how many unbelievable things she's been a part of creating.
When I think about Dawn Ostroff's contributions to the podcast industry, just look at the last year. Podcast is a household word. She took an old medium and she modernized it. And that's not just here in the US. Dawn has done that globally.
Every interaction I have ever had with her, I have looked up to her, and I have found her to be such a protective powerhouse of a leader.
And she just is a badass woman.
Here's the thing you need to know about Dawn.
She is inspiring,
kind, and thoughtful.
She never takes no for an answer. Trust me, I can tell you firsthand.
She is a caring and fierce leader.
She never stops.
When you think about the past winners of the Matrix Award, it is one of the most esteemed awards in our industry. They are women who are challenging our thinking. They're women who are breaking down barriers.
Mom, I could not be more proud of you. I could not be luckier to have you as my inspiration and to realize as a young girl that I can do anything I want when I'm older.
Dawn Ostroff is one of those women. And I can't actually think of anyone more deserving of this award than Dawn. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations to Dawn.
Congratulations, Dawn.
And you are very, very deserving of this award, Dawn. So congratulations. We love you very much.
Congratulations, Mom. And I love you so much.
It is an honor to present the 2021 Matrix Award to Spotify's Chief Content and Advertising Business Officer, Dawn Ostroff.
Thank you to my dear friends for your kind and gracious words. I'm so grateful to have all of you in my life. And congratulations to all my fellow Matrix honorees. I am truly honored to be receiving this special recognition from the New York Women in Communications and to be a part of this extraordinary group of women who I so deeply admire and respect. I was fortunate to learn early on in my career, success is a result of hard work and proving that you are worthy and ready for the opportunities that come your way. And when I look back on my professional journey and think about what this award means to me and what it means to women who have come before me, I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude to those who gave an ambitious young woman full of dreams so many opportunities along the way. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege of leading media and entertainment companies as they embrace the future of television and digital video. And now at Spotify, as the Chief Content and Advertising Business Officer, I'm grateful and excited by the opportunity to be at the forefront of the audio revolution currently underway. I want to thank everyone at Spotify for their passion, verve, and perseverance. To all my friends and mentors, women like Carol Black, Nancy Tellem, Jerry Laybourne, and Shari Redstone, those I counted on as friends and inspired me in different ways, I thank you. and of course, most importantly, to my family, the ones who keep me curious, inspired, and excited about the future. To my husband, Mark, my parents, my stepdad, and our kids, Justin, Jonathan, Mikey, and Lane. I love you all. And lastly, to all the young women who make the Matrix community so vibrant and our future so bright, know that your superpower will always be your courage. And just remember, when the door opens for that next exciting opportunity along your journey, have the confidence and belief in yourself to walk through it.
And just like that, it's a wrap for this year's awards ceremony. You have been a great audience, I can only assume. Here's to hoping next year we can all celebrate in person together, in leggings or in gowns, whatever you prefer, and that you're feeling as inspired and empowered as I am. Thank you to the NYWICI team, an absolute force. Not even a pandemic can slow you down. Thank you so much for bringing us all together again, even if virtually, and for overseeing the creation of this whole show. I know it was not easy to edit. We so appreciate it. You really are something special. And we're saving the best for last with a huge thank you to our scholarship winners, the honorees, the presenters, all of their fantastic teams, and everybody who dedicated their time and energy to be a part of today's show. Until next year, as my colleague and friend Lester Holt likes to say, take care of yourselves and each other.